Hey everyone, welcome back to The Coop with Meyer Hatchery, where we talk all things poultry in hopes of educating chicken keepers and inspiring future flock owners. And I'm Jeff. Today, what are we going to talk about? Well, I got a treat for you. Today, we are going to be talking about what is the practical way of raising chicks in the fall. And to get some good advice, I've invited Linda, who has worked for Meyer Hatchery since April of 2018. And she's going to talk to us about how she's done it. And hopefully that will help you. So, how do you brood chicks in the fall?
Well, it's important to start the chicks at a steady temperature of 95 degrees Fahrenheit for the first week. They need to be in a place where it's not drafty and where the nighttime temperature drops that come with the fall will not chill them.
Yes, we often see losses occur at night. If the chick gets chilled by temperature swings, it is a good idea to use a brooder that has sides, no openings, no gaps, to help prevent heat loss and drafts. And it's best to have the brooder set up before the chicks arrive. Don't wait till they get there before they get there, because it can take some time to really heat up everything, like the stock tank, especially if you're using one of those large metal ones on a chilly day.
Each week, you'll need to adjust the heat source to bring the temperature down by 5 degrees until the chicks are fully feathered. Expect this to be around 6 to 8 weeks. It's a great idea to have a thermometer in your brooder at the chick's height to see what the temperature is where they are. Watch their behavior too. Chicks should go to and come away from the heat source. Too much huddling together tells you they are cold. Everyone staying away from the heat says they're hot. They should be evenly spaced throughout the brooder with some near and some away from the heat source, and then changing places from time to time to warm up or cool off again.
So, what about the feed? Do you do anything differently for fall brooding?
I follow the recommended 20% protein medicated chick starter feed for the first 6 to 8 weeks for my layers. This feed provides them with the protein they'll need to grow and produce those needed feathers.
Now, don't forget to keep waters, feeders, and bedding clean. Replace the feed and water daily. If the water spills, make sure to replace the bedding quickly. A wet chick will become chilled very fast.
It's also a good idea to add marbles into the water or base. This will help prevent chicks from going into the water where they can drown or become chilled and die.
So now that you've spent 6 to 8 weeks successfully brooding these chicks, tell us what you do next.
It's a good idea to acclimate them. The weather varies in the fall. I try to watch the forecast and use warm days to help acclimate the juveniles. I may move them to a large dog crate in a warm spot for the day so they can begin to eat some grass and enjoy some fresh air. It gives them time to see the other birds and not get picked on. I'll bring them back into the brooder area for the nights. Even if I don't get them outside on warm days, I'll begin to remove the heat during the day and then add it back for them at night. After several days of doing this, I'll eventually reduce the heat at night, especially if there's a warm night in the forecast. If I have young chicks ready to move and the weather is colder than I'd like, I may brood them longer while stepping them down gradually. For instance, if the birds started out in the house for a couple of weeks, they would then go to the garage next because mine is attached to the house and stays pretty warm as long as the overhead door is closed. From there, I'd move them into the barn. It's insulated but not heated, so that's another step for them. And finally, after these steps, when the time is right, I'd move them to the back section of my coop. I use this as a place to introduce birds. They don't get to go outside from here, but can see all the others. They have time to do more growing before going in with the older birds. They can adjust to the temperature outside and get used to their new flock mates. If you watch the weather forecast and have some ability to adjust the environment where the birds are brooding and growing, you should be able to raise birds in the fall and move them outside to the coop successfully.
I want to thank you, Linda, for sharing your method on how to get chicks in the fall and raise them up with proper planning. it can very well and very easily be done. And we hope to hear from you. Come to our website at meyerhatchery.com and get your chicks today, now in the fall. And with that, I want to thank you for listening to The Coop. Be sure to subscribe. And if you'd be so kind, drop me a review. Do you know that you can save $5 off your next Meyer Hatchery purchase? Enter the coupon code The Coop at checkout. Plus, as we say, life is good because we have chickens.